Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ray Reynolds here with RaysWebinar.com. Ultimate goal is to get you to get to the $1 million dream. Information you hear today is going to be different than you've heard before. Now keep in mind, you got to get a tablet and pen, write things down. We got to get it here. All right? Bottom line is I want to make sure you understand what we're going to do. And yes, we got to say Happy New Year. It's 2021. Guess what? That should be blackjack year. Everybody should win this year. Now here's a toll-free number for you to give us a call at the end of the webinar. It's 800 toll-free 510-3338. As we do this, remember something in the past or maybe today. Millionaire dream yet? All right. What I want you to think about is this: a little different. I want you to plan the problem. I want you to remember something. All right, you got to plan the problem because it's going to happen no matter what we say or do. First thing I want to talk about is safety credit. Now, this is $100,000 credit cards, $50,000 a piece, but it's personal credit. You know what really is bad about personal credit? You can't write off the card at the interest rate. And unfortunately, what most people do on personal credit, they jack it up. They think it's free money, then they get stuck and they can't get any more. We got to train the world one thing. Personal credit has to be called safety credit. We got to get it on track, leave it alone, and put it aside. Plus, we can't use more than 29% anyway. Next thing we got to look at is what's called the line of defense. I want you to think about something today. When you're driving through the city where you live, you're going to see some banks that are closed down, and you know they're still in business. All right, you're going to see some grocery stores too. In other words, they bankrupt that location, they wrote it off on their taxes, and they're still in business today. What did you do? You brought the pain home because you didn't know how to play the game. You get to win if you want to. You see, how did that bank bankrupt that location and not all the pieces or the grocery store? Well, let's teach you about what's called the line of defense. Next thing is we don't want to bring the pain home ever because that's no fun. Now, me, I started as a little boy. All right, unfortunately, I was ripping up magazines. They thought I was weird. I was looking for my mommy and my daddy. Never get that. Then I wanted to get the mansion, the yachts, and all the goodies. I mean, bottom line is we all want the goodies, don't we? So my journey will begin a little bit about me, then we're going to talk about you. You see, I want to call it getting past go. Me, I got to be with Mrs. Hope from the age of 3 to 9.5 years old. And you know what she did? All right, she was the she-devil from hell. You see, every morning, because she got her weekly monthly checks. But she dropped me off at Redondo Beach Pier at 6:30 in the morning and picked me up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, the bottom line is I didn't like stealing and begging off the pier. It kind of sucks. But I knew one thing. God gave me an IQ off the chart with total recall in most things. So let's see what I did. I got my Lamborghini collection. I got my Duffys. I got my 6 mansions. I broke some world records too. Had some fun with that. Do you know I parked my race boat, my yacht in my backyard? Helicopter. And don't forget about the Ferraris too. You see, here's the thing. Everybody wants the goodies. The difference is I'm not here to brag, but I'm here to show you flat out. You can go get it too. It's that simple. I had to figure it out myself. God, me. I call it Ray's Rules, by the way. I brought in my first $100,000 at 9.5, million at 14, double billion at 26, all under corporate structure. How'd I do so far? So let's understand. When I wrote Winning the Game of Business 43 years ago, I turned it into a game. Most people get stressed out, and that's no fun. You know what I did? I heard a corporation's a legal person. I heard that listening to a poker game, by the way. I was 7.5 years old. I connected the dots. Then I started helping end industries at 9.5. You know what's really weird back then? They were sending credit cards in the mail without applying. I got over $100,000. That was fun. Now here's what I've been doing for 43 years. If you don't know me, you'll get to know me. I build relationship with everybody I can. What I like to do is be at every seminar, workshop, and boot camp that I do. I don't let anybody speak for me. You get stuck with me. I'll get you to the $1 million dream if you allow me to. The bottom line is some of you bought a corporation to make some money and get rich. And what they say is 96% to 97% of you didn't do a damn thing after that at all. You didn't know what's next. Well, I'll be your next. Let's think about something today. You lose your job, you got an emergency. What happens next? You run out of time, you run out of money, you jack up your credit, and you bring the pain home in 42 days. You see, most people when they start a business are using the wrong money in the first place. So what do we get to do? Get to know me and I get to know you. When I was training Ken Yarborough, security chief at TOW in a Spearman years ago, that was fun. Maybe today you'll let me train you. Why don't we write down the Credit Services Act? Please write it down. It'll take you later on when you Google it to the Federal Trade Commission, where they say credit repair is a scam, not allowed to collect money up front. It'll actually repair and take you to the Credit Repair Organization Act, which says attorneys can't do credit repair. See, today I want you to build that relationship with me. And you and me, we're going to work together on this flat out. Now let's do this right now. Why don't you pull out your Social Security card? Come on, it's an SSN. I want you to understand the rules that you didn't pay attention to. You see, you got one SSN. That's all you got. Why? Because you were told to, like I was, to get a job, we got to get the SSN, all right, and then get the job as teenagers. All right, by the way, it connected to the 1040 tax return. That's all it was supposed to do. Now, if you read the card right in front of you, it'll say do not laminate, do not use for ID purposes, don't carry with you, it's not even your card. Here's the application we filled out as teenagers. And what does it say if you read the card right now? Property of Social Administration, not you. You see, the creditors use it and abuse it, and they're not supposed to. So I created a system called Rapid Refresh. I get to block crap and push your score up. Now, if you went up to an 820, let me know. I can do that for you. It's not a problem at all. Now, what I like to really do is repackage your whole life. This is what I've been doing for people making them millionaires and billionaires for years. So I like to repackage your house, your car, your bank account. I like to show you how to actually go get it. Unfortunately, most of you spent $3,000+ in your life on a bunch of junk. I always call it crap. The reality is it's pretty simple for you. Don't bring the pain home, but learn the rules and the tools how to play. Now, I've been in 2 comas in my life. Both times credit saved my life. I like credit, but I don't use it and abuse it. Let's think about something when I heard as a kid. I kept hearing when I was a little boy, money for a rainy day. Every time I asked them to explain it to me, they couldn't explain diddly squat. You know, in my life, it doesn't rain, it always pours. Let's think about something right now. Let's say you have an emergency right now. You need $5,000, but you need it today. You're going to ask your friends, your family, the bank, they're all going to say no. If you had a safety credit card in your hand like I do, or the one on the screen, and it's for $5,000 and we had to max it out, guess what we could play? Catch up, not fall down. Did you know if you would have planned a lot better, you wouldn't have backed yourself in a corner? By the way, that card is $50 a month. The average person wastes that every other day. The next thing they say about most people is they waste $140 a week. I don't know if that's true about you, but these are $50,000 credit cards apiece. There's that $100,000 again. Can't write off the card or the interest rate because it's personal credit. But if I had to max out one of those today, did you know the payment is $612.26? The average thing what the average person wastes every given month, you could have bought 2 pizza restaurants. The bottom line is you could have started a business. Stop wasting money. Never bring the pain home because that's so silly and dumb. Now what do we get to do next? Plan on the problem. When you go through your city today and you see that bank and that grocery store, you know they're still in business, but that location, they shut it down. They bankrupt the piece, they wrote off on their taxes, and they're still in business today. Why didn't you play that way? You brought the pain home. Why? Ask yourself why you brought the pain home. The only thing you can come up with is a lack of knowledge. It's a stupidity of man and woman. We're not stupid people. We just need to learn how to play. You see that safety credit? It's very important to us. The line of defense, see it, believe it, go get it too. The bottom line is from now on, you're not going to bring the pain home because I want to repackage you. Let's look at what I want you to do. Reach your goals. Write them all down. Believe in yourself. It's like me. I believe in God and I believe in me. When I broke the world record for the highest kick on the planet in 1981, I still hold the record today. That just proves one thing. White men do jump. Just stupid people say we don't. Remember something, please. When someone says you can't do this or that, don't listen to those dummies. Remember, God gave you a gift and a dream. See it, believe it, and go get it. Now let's go back to you in that SSN. Yeah, you got one, didn't you? You were told to get one before you got your job. So you got the SSN, got the job, connected to the 1040 tax return. You get 2 write-offs if you're lucky, you only have 1 number. Can you imagine? You only got one of these. No wonder everybody fails. The bottom line is, guess what happens next? The SSN. Yes, you got an Experian, a Transient, and Equifax too. And guess what happens when you jack up the card past 29%? You drop your score, you get stuck, you can't get any more. Remember something today, you're going to write down 25 to 29% because you don't want to jack up that card no matter what we say or do. I want you to have a backup for a backup. Now, the other reason we have the SSN is because we're the collateral for the United States of America, by the way. Especially ever since Nixon took the gold standard out. They've been printing money 24/7. Now take that tablet and pen today and write down Ray's rules. Write down $100,000 of credit. And don't tell me that's too much. Because the last time you lost your job, you were afraid to lose your house, your car, all right, your bank account, and even your family to feed them too. $100,000 of credit for you. 29%. Don't use more than that at all. That will give you $71,000 of safety credit. That way you can feed your family up to 2 years in case you lost your job or there's a pandemic. When you take the money from your family and the credit, you roll the dice, I'm sorry to say, in most cases you hurt the family. But by the way, you're using the wrong money in the first place. When you want to run a business, you don't steal money from the family. That just hurts the family. Let's teach you the way to play. It's called Ray's Rules today. Now that first coma, 5.5 years old, hit the curb of my face going 40 miles an hour. They told me I'd never walk again in my life. I still got up. Last coma, 2009. There I am, worth millions and billions of dollars, didn't matter to nobody. I'm laying in a coma waiting to die at 5:41. You see, somebody came on my yacht with swine flu and pneumonia. But let me say it the right way, because I don't want Facebook getting mad at me again. It says 2009 H1N1 pandemic, and it says pandemic number 9. All right, and guess what happens? We took the corporate yacht out to watch the fireworks. That was it. And then I get to die in a coma. But I made a promise to God that day. In that coma, if you let me live, I'll come out and help more people like you. So there's my yacht. There's my race boat. By the way, I'm probably the most verified person on the planet today. There's the address, too. That's the largest U-Dock in Huntington Harbor, by the way. We took the yacht out on July 4th. July 5th, I get to do what? I get to lay there in a coma and die. That kind of sucks. But again, they'll call it H1N1 too. I got to come out of the coma. All right, 5 weeks walking with an oxygen tank. I put my score back to an 820. All right, and then I popped a $1 million credit card again. I don't stay down, and from now on, neither will you if you play with me. I want to teach you the rules, how to play the game and win. Now, today, we don't get a do-over. We get to basically live or die. I'd tell you to wear a mask, but that's up to you. You see, it only takes a moment to die and a lifetime to live. Which one are you going to pick? Now, we got a pandemic, number 19. We had 9 when I was in. What about the next one that's come around? Don't worry, look through history. It'll come back again. Now, let's do this. Let's go chase the money. Let's take the carrot. Now, for me, let me understand something. I love money. I really do. It's one of my top 10 things in my life. Not my top 5, but my top 10. You see, for me, money, I don't have to beg and steal off the pier. I can feed my family, I can pay my bills, I can help you. But guess what's going to happen? 9 out of 10 of you, you hate your job anyway. Now what happens is you and me, we're getting older, slower. We're not as purr as we used to be. Go back to the job you hate. It's okay. Eventually they're going to fire you anyway. Then you're going to deliver some pizza. Is that true to your American dream? See, we got 2021 now. That's called blackjack. That means we have 12 months, 52 weeks, 365 days, 8,760 hours, 525,600 minutes too. Which one are you going to waste? You see, you got to make sure every minute and every moment counts this year. Now, here's your goals for 6 months. I'm going to give them to you. I want to give you $25,000 to $100,000 of corporate credit. I want the corporation set up my way. I want your first property bought through the divisions, and I want to get your first franchise funded too. Got to have a drive-through. That way it stays open through pandemics no matter what we have. Now here's the 12 months goals. How about $1 million in the corporate bank account? How about you live in your dream house? How about you have $5 million of real estate and franchises too? See, you got to set up your goals, and it's got to follow through. Now for me, it's pretty simple. When I got to be with Mrs. Hope from the age of 3 to 10 years old, every Wednesday night she had a poker game. And I listened outside my door, bedroom by the way, it was actually the pantry, and I'd listen to what they had to say. I'd write down my little notes. They thought I was weird, probably true. You know what they said? I couldn't believe it. They said a corporation's a legal person. See, to me, I heard my way out of hell if I could figure it out. Next day, I rode my bicycle to the Torrance Police Department. I knew there was a library next door. I walked in and asked the lady, would you help me please? She said, here's a book, here's a microfiche. I read the book front and back. Then I got pissed off. You know why I got pissed off? It didn't give me the blueprint, the instruction manual you've been looking for all your life. I know you spend money to buy a book, how to make money and get rich. You listen to the motivational crap too. Sorry, if they're not handing you the money or the credit, I think it's BS, to be honest with you. So I got pissed off that day. You know what I did? I went back to almost every day to that library from 7.5 to 9.5 years old. You know what I did after that? I wrote my books and my CDs. I came up with a blueprint for the $1 Million Dream. You see, I brought that first $100,000 at 9.5, $1 million at 14, double billion at 26. How am I doing so far? You see, you got to realize something. All right, it's just like the real estate series. I had $841 million of real estate before the coma. But again, my life got destroyed under corporate structure, by the way. I wrote the book, How to Become the Bank, Buckets of Money, and Tax Balancing, too. Don't forget winning the game of business as well. Now, understand something. I was at the Bonaventure for 32 years. Every Wednesday night, there was a line around that hotel to get a hold of me. I used to sell those 18 books and CDs for $20,000 a pop. So let's understand something today. Last year in March, Credit Hotline closed down their office. They all went home to get the extra unemployment check. They literally walked out of an office and said, I just got a raise of $600 a week. Why would I want to work at all? That's what they did. In their warehouse, I found out they had some of my books and CDs. The office here sells it for $999. If you really ever want the blueprint, how I got the first 100,000, million, and double billion, it's in those books and CDs, by the way. I was going to discount it to $299 for you today, but I want to give you an extra bonus on top of that. $199 today during the webinar, as long as you sell it. If you don't, talk to sales. They'll work it up for you no matter what they say and do. They get a commission. They're going to get it from you. You see, during the day, what happens is the webinar live, because I don't like pre-recorded crap. Whatever price I give you, you got to do during the webinar. Now, I'm going to tell you flat out, I like Zelle. I like wires and deposits. Why? Because I can track the money and I don't have to worry about hackers. Merchants, I can't stand them at all. There's the Zelle information. Take a picture. It'll last longer today. You Zelle, you wire, you deposit. Now you're stuck with me. I like to play with you for at least 90 days, maybe a lifetime too. And if you want, tell Gina at ray@raisecredit.com, use Zelle for this or that. That's all you got to do. Now, here's the thing. I want to rebuild your credit my way. All right? By the way, I want to do the Rapid Rescore, corporation, books, CDs, and classes. I want you stuck with me for at least 90 days. Now, listen and write it down. Every card you got in your wallet today, ladies and gentlemen, I want them at 25 to 29%. Write it down. If you jack up a card past 29%, you drop your score. You get stuck, you can't get any more. Remember, on the back of every card you have, I want a sticky. That's right, I want a sticky behind the card. I want you to know your limit, and I don't want you to know what 25 or 29% is. So every time you get that card out of your purse or your wallet, guess what? It'll remind you not to jack it up again. All right, stop acting like personal money is free money. And then you get the bill and you go, oh my God, look what I did to myself. Understand something today. You've got to be a qualified CFO if you really want to play. Getting to million to billion, by the way. So let's understand something. You can play with me in real estate. We can make millions of dollars. We can do a fixer-upper, a duplex, an apartment complex too. Now, I want every one of you to get a franchise, by the way. I really do. See, what happens if we get through this pandemic we're currently in? What about the next one that's going to come our way? You know what happens on a franchise, like if they have a drive-through? They stay open through pandemics, no matter what somebody says or does. How about we do profit sharing too? Now let's understand something. I used to incorporate rich and famous people for years. I came up with leveraging and credit money. 84 ways to turn it into $100 million, by the way. You might just want to listen a little bit to me. They do say I'm the #1 consultant worldwide, just because it's fun. Now, I did say house, car, and bank account. Remember that too? Here's a Lamborghini, part of the collection at the time. So let's think about this. Rich and famous people drive company cars and write it all off, but not you. You get a paycheck, it's already taxed. You got the leftover, you pay for a car you should not. Then you basically take all the money and credit from the family, and you go, honey, let's hurt the family some more. Why did you bring the pain home? Why? Why did every one of you, and you're guilty of bringing the pain home? It's because of the lack of knowledge. It's the stupidity of man and woman. You're not stupid. The bottom line is you didn't learn how to play the damn game. Maybe like me, I had to fight to get out of hell. Maybe you got the mommy and daddy and half of you were lazy anyway. The other half really want to go get it. So let's see what we need to really do. Your car is registered to you. That makes you a duck. By the way, your car should be registered to a division of a corporation. That's how I wrote the rules in 1986. So let's understand something today. You need a car through a tax ID and fleet price. You know, they do say your paycheck is what's called what? Taxable income. I'll bet you're paying the payment, the gas, registration, insurance out of your paycheck. Corporation can pay for it with taxes not considered at all. Why the hell are you doing it wrong in the first place? Can you scream the word no right away, please? Which Lamborghini do you like? I don't get it. All right, there's no difference between me and you besides I got off my butt and I mastered every rule and tool there could be. Luckily, God gave me an IQ off the chart with total recall in most things. Now, let's look at an SS4. Remember your SSN? All right, get a job. To equal what? 1040 tax return. That's IRS's rules. Here's the rules about an SS4. Now, I'm going to say SS4 times 4 because that creates the pattern of 3. Write down the pattern of 3, please. Now, let's understand on this form in line 10. Let's look at it. Line 10 says banking and credit purposes. If I get to build you corporate credit, if you allow me to, that means you get to write off the interest rate in the credit card too. You can't do that for you, so why would you use your money in the first place? I don't get it at all. Bottom line is, here's the pattern of 3. You got your tablet and pen? Write it down. There's a corporation, SS4. What follows bankruptcy? SSN, SS4. Who wants to be the duck some more? You want to be a duck too? Understand something today. Corporations should get credit only. It should not do business at all. It's supposed to manage the divisions or the entities or subsidiaries as well, just like every bank and grocery store do. I wrote the rules in 86. Create the line of defense in case one of those pieces gets screwed up. We get rid of a piece, we keep the other pieces. And we sure in the hell don't bring the pain home because that's only for dumb people to do that. Now you don't have to complain about rich and famous people. You can learn how to play the game too. It's pretty simple to do, but it's up to you as well. SS4 times 4. If you allow me to do it for you, I can build you an Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax too. And you get to write off the credit while you finance your own business. The bottom line is, sorry to say, you've been doing it wrong in the first place. So guess what? SS4 times 4. Please don't name a corporation after you. That's called dumb. Don't name it what it does. That's double dumb too. You got to set up the line of defense. Remember, if you had 5 houses, that means you have 10 liabilities. That's like 5 loans and 5 people leasing properties. Which one's going to slip and fall and try to sue you for all you got? All right, it's like franchises. They got a number to it too. And maybe a current business as well. If you allow me to, I can build you up to $100,000 or $1 million card. How many would you like? Let me know. I already tried giving you $100,000 on personal credit. Don't use more than 29% because you can't write off this at all. Never hurt your family. Ray's rules are pretty simple. SSN, what does it equal? 1040 tax return. SS4, what did it say? It said banking and credit purposes. So the IRS's rules are right in front of you. Why are you not playing the right way? Don't worry, when you try to set up a corporation's division or the pieces of their tax aid and create credit reports, it won't work for you. You're going to need me to do it for you, by the way. So what do we got? SSN 1040, 1 write-off, maybe 2. Oh, wow. And we're the duck. S says 4 times 4, pattern of 3. It says credit and banking purposes too. You didn't have to bring the pain home in the first place. Why did you? Just be honest with yourself. Say lack of knowledge. You see, I always have 6 out of 100 people a month that give me a bad time. Now, what do I mean by this? Pretty simple. I tell you during the program for 30, 90, maybe 180 days, don't run your credit. Let me build it for you. But when I add history to you, corporation and divisions, you start getting green lights all over the place. And what happens is you violate the rules and you apply for crap. That's what you get, because you don't get a big line of credit like I give you. So do yourself a favor during the program. Do not apply for credit during the program at all. I don't want you to ever bring the pain home. So remember something today. It's a pretty simple thing to do. We got a choice today. Let's think about this. Now, here's a client, just like some of you. I built them up to a 687. I removed all the crap. I sealed the record too. Now, I'm almost done, ready to push him up to a 720 to get him a $30,000 card. But he got impatient and he did it on his own. What did he get? A $300 card. $300. Are you kidding me? All right, now let's take someone else and compare it to. Someone I had to remove all their crap. They got no credit left. I sealed their record as well. I got him an Open Sky. He got a 621. His starter card that I got him, the first card, was $3,000. Which one you want? If I got to rebuild you, I got to rebuild you my way, not your way, because your way sucks. I've been doing this for 43 years. There's a reason I'm the #1 consultant worldwide. If you want a credit rebuilding and a rapid rescore today, okay. The office sells it for $9.98. But during the webinar, I give it for half price. Only during the webinar. You should have saw 4 people call after I was done today, tried to convince sales to give it to them half price. Sales said, no way, I don't get a commission for that. See, if you don't listen and do it during the webinar, oh well, you got to pay a little more. They got to make their commission today. $499. And I'm going to hand you a $1,000 credit card back to you. That means you get twice as much your investment back to you, and you get to keep the 820 and go to credit classes too. What I always do is take away your excuses, by the way. The starter package for a millionaire. Now, if you want to be a millionaire, raise your hand as high as you can. Raise it as high as you can. So that's called silly and dumb. If I wrote a check to you for $1 million and that's your income, you get to keep $375. The rest goes to the IRS too. Now, let's understand, who wants to have a corporate millionaire? Everybody raise your hand and say, yes, I do. Why? You don't have to pay tax till you make a profit. You got to understand something, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you didn't research to find all the rules and the tools and master all the tools as well. So getting an 820, not a problem for me. I'm going to hand you articles, also list tax ID. And I want to put you in a setup class on Wednesday or Saturday or both. And a level 1 for setup divisions too. That class is on Wednesday and Saturday too. So what do I got to do? The office sells it for $19.99. I always give things half price during the webinar. You see, I'm going to give you $10,000 of cash credit back to you. It's going to cost you $9.99. All right, and you get to play with me for 90 days while you learn the rules and the tools. The Millionaires in the Making, that's my favorite one. It's pretty simple. It comes at $25,000 of credit. Instead of $4,000 during the webinar, I give it away for half price too. $2,499 to you. And I build you $25,000 of cash credit. 10 times your investment back to you. No excuses for me. No excuses for you. And if you give us referrals, no matter what they buy, I build you another $1,000 credit anyway. So let's understand something today. You're watching me on Google, Facebook, and YouTube. That's kind of fun. But what if you're missing the PowerPoint in front of me? You might want to go to raiswebinar.com. Get the full overview and never bring the pain where? Home. That's all I got as a kid. Now, when I was 7.5 years old, this is what I heard. So let's remember, this is not legal advice. This is Chapter 18 for corporations. And what they said is simple. Can you read with me line 1? A corporation is a legal person. It may sue or be sued. Can you imagine that? Corporations have more rights than you and me. Bottom line is this. The United States of America Incorporated set up their line of defense called states. All states are corporations. All states set up their line of defense called cities. Every city's a corporation too. Why haven't you set up your line of defense? If you would have did this right out of high school, you would have never brought the pain home. All right? You should be answering the same question to yourself. Why did you bring the damn pain home? Lack of knowledge. It's the stupidity of man and woman. We're not stupid. But now I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to know. They got their line of defense, but what about you? It's your turn, by the way. And guess what? They plan if there's a problem, too. That's why they created a Chapter 9 bankruptcy under the Federal Protection Act, too. It's public record. First bankruptcy you ever saw was Orange County. So don't you ever forget, you are we the people. It's your constitutional right, too. It's all up to you. Now, here's Nixon. Did you know Nixon took the gold standard out? It gave him the key to the printing press to print money 24/7. Now, you and me, SSN, what did it equal? Get a job for a 1040 tax return. Now you connect the dots. Mama, she delivered a baby this morning at the hospital. Do you know it's federally mandated that every hospital hand a mama, all right, an SSN form within 3 hours or less after the baby's born? Baby's not getting a job. They got to know how much more money they get to print, put a bond on each one of us. By the way, if mama don't sign the SSN, baby's not going in the stroller. Car seat can't go home at all. Is mama going to sign the form? Oh, yes, she's going to do that. Remember, before I die again, I want to train the world. Safety credit. Don't jack it up. Put it aside. Leave it alone. You can't write it off at all. We only use that if blank hits the fan. Corporation, tax ID. Why? Because it says credit and purposes and banking purposes too. Corporation sets up the line of defense. And if one of those divisions gets screwed up, what are we going to do? We're going to do exactly what they got to do. Rich and famous people file bankruptcy every day and they stay rich and famous. But now you, cities do it too. Why did you bring the pain home last time? What's wrong with you? Are these turned on today? I don't get it. You never had to bring the pain home in the first place. The Reynolds University, before my coma, it's only 22,000 square feet building. You never inspect them too. Had other buildings around the globe doing $1 million plus a day, helping people like you. You know what I do every Saturday? See, I broadcast twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. Monday through Friday and all day Saturday at the 9 classes too. You're stuck with me. I don't pass the buck. And what I do at 1 o'clock every Saturday, I give you the status update. The worst thing I'm ever going to do is ask you to do 1 or 2 things. That's the most. If you follow through, we get it done quicker. The only reason it would take longer than 90 days is because of you. Your follow-through sucks. Follow through as fast as you can. Now, Walt Disney, this is in Newsweek. They filed bankruptcy 7 times in the past. You know what they wanted to do? They didn't want to pay tax on $1 billion. Since they know how to play the game, they just wrote an IOU to themselves. You see, if Mickey can play the game, so can you. Remember, personal credit, safety credit. Now I know online you're going to see some companies that say, trade lines. Sorry, that's crap. Oh, you don't have to guarantee. That's BS. Let's tell you something flat out. In the beginning of any business, the first thing you need is cash. Cash is king and queen. It takes money to get honey. First thing we're going to do is get you 8 credit cards per division. 9 lines of credit too. Then we'll decide about supply credit, vendor credit, marketing credit, lease credit, and gas cards too. Bottom line is you still got to be a CFO. It's the only way you're going to get the right credit in the first place. And anything I offer during a webinar is good for you. Credit rebuilding today, half price. $4.99, $1,000 card back to you, twice as much you invested in yourself. How about the starter package for Millionaire? What do you get? $999, and I do all the work. I put you in the workshops for 90 days, corporation, all the pieces I hand you to, and I hand you $10,000 of cash credit. Now what excuse you got? All right, how about the Millionaire in the making? $2,499, $25,000 cash credit for you. Office list, tax ID, corporation too. In 90 days, you're stuck with me. Won't that be kind of fun for you? You Zelle, you wire your deposits. All you got to do. The bottom line is, when I studied Mr. Buffett's father, then I studied him. This man is brilliant. He's playing the game. By the way, it's your turn. It's your turn. Let me roll the dice. You ready to go? Why are you not playing the game and winning too? It's kind of like my dashboards. Authorized users, crap. Authorized basic trade lines too. You still got to be a qualified CFO. By the time I'm done with you, you will be the best CFO you could ever be. So let's understand something. Years ago, I invented daisy chaining of credit. There's 113 ways to do that too. I can take every card you got in your pocket today and turn it to 99 more. But the first thing we got to remember is this. The IRS says one thing. You can't write off personal credit. But corporate credit and interest rates and credit cards too, you get to write it all off to build that business today. So why don't we look about corporate credit? By the way, it's 1,000 rules for a millionaire corporation, 20,000 for a billionaire. How much you want? Now, don't have the intent to defraud or rip anybody off, please. I don't want to go to court and be on you. Now, here's 3 divisions. Draw this, understand something flat out. Corporation gets credit, manages the line of defense, and the divisions. By the way, the divisions are the ducks. If anything's going to get screwed up, it'll be one of those. Not the corp, not you. Problem is, you didn't have a buffer for you at all. We're going to do the 3-step like they got to do. We're going to disconnect, isolate, incorporate. Can't save a piece. We're going to bankrupt the piece, keep all the other pieces, and we're sure in the hell not going to bring the pain home, because there's no reason we have to do that at all. You just got to learn how to play. Now, when you bought your house, I'm sorry to say, you probably did it wrong anyway. It should have been escrow closed, escrow homestead, escrow put in a trust. Listen carefully. If your assets are not in a trust today, when somebody sues you, they take it away. When you die, it gets stuck into probate, and your family got diddly squat. So let's fix up a property today. You're probably going to hire a contractor that's down outside Home Depot. And what if they cut every corner? What if they slip and fall and sue you and take everything you got today? Why don't you think about maybe any property you ever get, why don't you quick clean deed it to a division? How about assignment of equity too? This way, if they try to sue you, they can't sue you at all. And what they get at the end of the day is diddly squat. Why not? If you don't have a trust, if I was you, I'd Google irrevocable trust today. That's what I would pick if I was you. But you can pick whatever you want to. We still got to fix up that property today. Now, some people play peekaboo with the IRS and make a mess. Don't let that be you. If you ever did that in the past, please go back to irs.gov. All right, download a form called 656, a 433A and B. Get your butt back in the system. Get your COVID-19 check. And make sure you don't play those games anymore. The IRS is the rules. They will tell you corporations don't pay tax until they make a profit. That's the bottom line. Now, if we're going to fix up that property, we're going to do it my way. By the way, I'm the original OPM. I'm going to set up divisions, go back to the manufacturer. Save up to 70%. I don't want to pay a bill for 30 to 60, 90 days anyway. I want to use their money to fix up that property. When escrow closes, escrow pays off the debt. And it got up to $200,000 left over. Don't act like you're rich, because you're not. Is it true you had $10,000, $100,000 in the past and some of you pissed it away? And some of you are broke today? I don't get that at all. Why don't you write down raise rules, leverage and money, and borrow money's not taxable, please? And write down the line of defense. You know, it's amazing when I look at the Reynolds University before the coma. 22,000 square foot building. The bank was at my office every morning at 9 o'clock in person. Going, Ray, what can I do for you today? The banks always kiss your ass. It's when you got money. When you don't have a pot to piss in, hell, they don't know your name. Why don't you learn how to leverage some money, ladies and gentlemen? The banks borrow from the feds times 10, loan back to 5 to us. Borrowed money's not what? Taxable. Could you imagine if you listened to me? You'd have up to $3 million. We'd take $2 million of that, learn how to leverage some money, raise rules, and we go get a McDonald's today. Make sure you get a franchise that's got a drive-through, because it'll always be open no matter what pandemic we have. You're going to have to beat your doubt. You can run your own race, but I'd like to coach you the rest of my life if you allow me to. Bottom line, I'm not going to show you anything that was not mine. I don't like BS. I'll show you mansions, helicopters, yachts. Got to get you past go. This is my favorite one at the time. It's called God's Gift. It's where I park my race boat and my yacht in my backyard. Where you park yours again? How about the yacht? Oh, how about the helicopter, the Lamborghini, and the building too? Now, ladies and gentlemen at workshops, I'm sorry to say, not really, but I got to say that because I don't want to offend you. I'm going to be telling you what to do many times. I don't want you to think, because the more you think, the more you screw it up. When I tell you I want you to change your driver's license, I mean change your damn driver's license to a P.O. box or a mailing address. The other day, you wrote a check over here. You gave them your driver's license. Now they know where you live. They're going to go rob your house when you're not home. They're going to sue you and take everything you got. Raise rules. Protect your assets. Never bring the pain home. Remember, you got the Driver's Privacy Protection Act too. Change your driver's license to a P.O. box or a mailing address, please. Now, the last time you bought a car, what did you do? You let someone sweat you for hours on end. You lost up to $5,000. Got 9 inquiries too. Oh, goody for you. What's wrong with you? The car you drive today is registered to you. That makes you a duck. When they hand you the paper to run your credit, next to your signature, you should have wrote down this allows 1 inquiry. You should have took a picture. But you didn't do that at all. And you buy the line, the car's registered to you. That means if they get what? You're a duck. Why don't you buy a car under fleet price and tax ID? Why don't we think? I like all the goodies, don't you? It's going to be up to you too. So let's get the Dream Corporation. All right, that's why I do the workshops all the time. See, here's my problem. You're going to listen to some of it not at all, and you're going to drive your car to the grocery store or the bank today. And then you're going to bump someone's car accidentally, a little bumpity bump, and that other person act like they got whiplash. They're going to die. They're going to scream their head off. And then they're going to ask you for your driver's license, your insurance, your registration. And then you're going to basically have your heart fall out of your chest. You go, I wish I would listen to Ray. Remember, driver's license, not your home address. Corporation could pay for that insurance versus you. And by the way, you're the duck. You're the registered owner. They're going to basically call those bloodsucker attorneys on TV. They're going to sue you, take everything you got because you didn't listen to me. Like I said, plan the problem before it happens. Keep in mind, every registered car should be a division and not you. Let's make sure they get diddly squat. Why not? There's a pattern of 3 again. When you see that grocery store in your location, in your city, in the bank today, and you know there are other locations still in business, and you know they wrote it off on their taxes and still in business today, remember me. You should have learned how to play the game. What did I do on July 3rd, 2009? My wife says, honey, can we take out the yacht to watch the fireworks with a bunch of people? Come on down. I said, honey, no problem. I went and filled up the yacht. $1,600. I wrote off the card, the interest rate, and the yacht too. Why not? There it is. The next day, I get to be in a coma. To me, it seems like H1N1 killed you the next day. Bottom line is, I made a promise. So God let me live. Even though I had, as they call it, I've got to say it right, don't want Facebook being mad at me, 2009 H1N1 pandemic. Bottom line is, I got to live. But I had to walk around with an oxygen tank for 5 weeks. I put my score back to an 820. Then I popped a $1 million card again. Write down closet division. You don't want to know what that means, believe me. Now that Lamborghini in that building, say the Reynolds University too, all under tax ID. Think it'd be the hard. Think it'd be the impossible. I've done it all my life, ladies and gentlemen. It's about time you do the same thing too. You know what? Everybody can get on the $1 million dream. Every seminar, workshop, and boot camp, you're stuck with me. I never pass the buck. Bottom line is I'll get you there if you allow me to. Now, motivation, I listen to it every day. All right? At the end of the day, guess what? They're telling their story, how it took them 5, 10, 20 years, whatever. This should be 6 months to a year at the most. Let's hand you the money and the credit. Because you got a story to tell, too. I want to get you an 820 credit score and up to $100,000 of credit. I want you to get a corporation and divisions through me up to $1 million of credit too. I want you to stop being stuck. And what's next for you is pretty simple. It's me. I'm going to be stuck with you, and you're going to be stuck with me. We're going to have some fun. 1,000 rules for a millionaire, 20,000 for a billionaire. How far you want to go? I'll hold your hand every step of the way. Remember, I want to repackage your life, your house, your car, your bank account too. At the end of the day, you're stuck with me. If you want the rules and tools how I did it too, all right, instead of $9.99 today, it's pretty simple. All right, extra bonus today, if you Zelled $1.99 during the webinar, you'll get the 18 books and CDs, how I did it for myself. It's good during the webinar. You Zell, you Zell, you Zell, you Zell. From there, you can always say Gina at rayscredit.com. I Zell for this or that day. And if you want a credit rebuilding program and all you want is an 820, okay, I'll hand you $1,000 of credit. Not a problem. I can do that in my sleep. Twice as much as you invest, so it's $4.99 for you. I'll even put you in some classes too. Starter package for a millionaire. Half price today is $9.99. $10,000 of credit. Going to hand you the articles, also the tax IDs, and 90 days of workshops with me. I'm going to build it for you. You're going to learn to put it all up here too. The Millionaires in the Making workshop too. The only difference in this one is $2,499. But this time you get $25,000 of credit to you. All you got to do is Zelle, wire, and deposit. That's pretty simple to do. Now, how did the 14th Amendment make corporations into people? You know it did. The United States of America, all right, set up their line of defense called states. All states set up their line of defense called cities. It's your turn. It's your constitutional right. Why did you not set up your line of defense? I don't get it at all. You got the ability to make sure you don't bring the pain home anymore. But again, at the end of the day, never have joint credit. Buy a house, escrow close, escrow homestead, escrow put it in a trust. Corporation, you don't name it after you. You don't name it what it does. You have up to $1 million of credit too. You got to have fun. You know, if you have divisions, subsidiaries, and more, for what? Real estate, franchise, current business. The ultimate thing is setting up the line of defense. You got to master Ray's rules. That way you don't bring the pain home. At the end of the day, plan on the problem. But make sure you got safety credit. Put it aside. Get that line of defense. Because when something goes wrong, you get rid of a piece. You keep the other pieces, and you never bring the pain home. Bottom line today, everyone talks about the American dream. But then they talk about it. If they're not handing you the money and the credit, what good is it? All I know is receiving money every month, pay all your bills, drive a company car, go on a business trip, help other people, free up your time. And make sure you set up line of defense. Always master the rules and the tools. Credit rebuilding today, half price is $4.99. $1,000 card back to you. Starter package for a millionaire. All right, it's $9.99 instead of $19.99. You're getting $10,000 of credit. And basically you get all the knowledge, you get it from me, and I get to hold your hand to build it for you. Millionaire in the Making, $24.99. $25,000 of credit, classes for 90 days, articles, books, CDs. I'll get to have some fun with you. But again, 10 times back, $24.99. You're getting $25,000 of cash credit. Bottom line is, let's build that relationship, you and me. You Zelle, you wire, you deposit. Stay safe, stay strong. At the end of the day, we got to know what's next to come. Let it be you and me. Let's always remember, life is a gift from our Father in heaven. God has given us the opportunity to believe and receive. Let us make the best of the day and give thanks in every way. Thank you, Jesus, for one more day. Amen to that. All I know, born in a taxi, 2 comas, all right, went through hell all my life, all right, brought the pain home. No, I learned to master the rules. I had enough pain in my life as a kid. Bottom line, you can change your life starting now. There's a phone number, or you can Zelle for the discounted price I gave you. But again, you can call 800, toll-free, 510-3338. And you can negotiate with them whatever price they're going to give you. Because at the end of the day, I gave you the best price I would give you. But now it's up to sales. And never, 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 never forget, at the end of the day, God loves us all.